Filling me pint. Why wouldn't I? There we go. So, let's go, Baxter. Every time I start talking to the camera, my dog thinks I'm talking to him. Can you come over here to see me? How are you doing? So, just to backtrack a wee bit to this beer here is the Golden Syrup Ale. It's come out really, really nice. Those bubbles there, maybe a bit of soap residue in there. Never mind. So this is the beer with the golden syrup, and my experiment was to see whether or not I was going to get that toffee flavour that you get, and I guess you'd call them mainstream English beers. And I was talking about Old Speckled Hen and the other one, you know, that I can't remember. Old Peculiar. And I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. So let's just have a wee taste. But well, the smell's very malty. So I think the IBUs is about 30 on this. So let's dive straight in. I'm very happy with this beer. Does it, using golden syrup, give you that toffee flavour? So I looked on the internet, as I said in my last video, trying to find out whether or not I would get that flavour that they have in those beers that I mentioned before. And I had got all sorts of different results, and I thought, well, I'll try it and see. And yes, definitely got a beautiful, thick toffee flavour. Now you'll remember that my final gravity was very low. Okay, it went down to, was it 1006? I said it went down to 1006, and so that was, you would think maybe it would be a bit thin, but it's actually not. It's actually beautiful beer. I think I'm going to have to go and get a can of Old Speckled Hen and compare whether they use it or not in their beers. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've got the flavour that I was after, so that's what's important. So I'm never been one for using a lot of adjuncts in beer. I just like to use malts. However, I'm really keen to use this again and make this beer again. Now, talking about, I talked about Old Peculiar. Now, Old Peculiar, I was lucky enough, DTM, David, I think I've got the name right. I love his channel, I've been watching for ages. DMS, is it? Oh, Christ, DMM, can't remember, sorry David. Anyway, he gave me, if you look at my last video, in the comments, DTS, David from DTS, he said, sent me the recipe, so thank you so much for that, David, for Old Peculiar. And so I stuck it pretty much to the recipe that he gave me, and so brewed it, and I've just got that. Baxter, can you go? I'm waiting to be fed. I've just did a reading yesterday, and it was 10:12. So let's see where we're at today. And we're 10:12, so she's finished. Smells really good. I haven't put golden syrup in it. I just stuck to the recipe that he gave me. If you're interested, have a look in the comments. I couldn't get all of the hops, or one of the hops I could. The hops that I used were Northern Brewer, and I used Styrian Goldings, because that's what I had. I didn't have Northern Brewer, but I went and bought some of them, and I could have used some Fuggles, because it stated in his recipe to use Fuggles, and I have got some in the freezer. They're my homegrown hops, but I wanted to use them in a special brew later on, so I was happy with what I did. So 10-12, so that's a good result. And if you remember rightly, I was scratching my head about the my low final gravity, like in this one here. Cheers. And I also said that I wondered if it was the trying to keep my mash at the right temperature was going down too low and giving me a lot more fermentable sugars. with this beer here, the old Peculiar, I had reinstalled my insulation mat thing that I have at the top, and that really nailed it. So yeah, go back to using that. Sometimes I just get a bit complacent and lazy with some things, and then I wonder what's going wrong. Anyway, so that's finished at 10:12, so that's a good result, and that'll bring it in at around, let's have a look, pretty sure it was 162, which was quite high. 162, this is how I do it, and I minus 10:12, right? That equals 50, and I divide that by 7.46. That's how I was taught to do it. So that's 6.7. So that's pretty high, but never mind, it is what it is. Now I'm really keen. I don't know what this, obviously don't know what it tastes like yet. I'm going to cold crash it in a minute, and I will be cold crash them, and then I'll better keg it in a couple of days, 3 days. I normally cold crash for 3 days, and usually does the trick. I mean, it's not really that important. But I'm happy that 10:12 is good. So I've got over that little hurdle of low final gravity. I am keen, even if it's perfect like this, and I'm sure it will be a fantastic brew. Thanks, David, again. I'm keen to do it with some golden syrup. I'll juggle the recipe around a bit, so I don't want to go too high. It's 7% or something. Be a wee bit too high, but yeah. So that's about it. That's all I've got to do. So just was basic. Baxter, go. He just wants to be fed. Out you go. Outside. Good boy. So every time he hears me talking, he thinks I'm talking to him. Yeah, so that's really cool. Just a quick video today just to say g'day, and just a tasting on this with the golden syrup ale. Yes, you can taste the golden syrup ale, the golden syrup in the ale, and it is very toffee, and it's very, very much like the. In fact, I had a trooper beer. And I had a trooper beer, and I thought, oh yeah, that's that malty taste. And then I came out here and I poured a pint of this, and I tasted it, and you know, that's the times when you can tell the big difference in the beers when you taste them side by side. And I'm on track. We're on track with this, with the toffee flavour in there. It's very, very nice. It's not overpowering. It's just got that flavour that I've been looking for. And also on that golden syrup one, I had two. I'd overdone it a bit. I made a few mistakes in that, and on the day I ended up with too much, and so I ended up putting them in here with some sugar and in the bottom, and put them in the fermenting fridge there, so that I can feel the tightest, you know, and they're cupping up nicely, so they'll stay in there for another week, and then I'll put them in the fridge and let them chill down for a week or two, and they'll be good to go. So that's it from me. Talking about Trooper beer, I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the bottle caps of my Trooper beer. They've all got the different album covers. Probably, I don't think you can see it. They've got the different album covers on the top, and they're on a magnet. This is a magnet, and they're only just hanging on. So I'm wondering if I should just put this on the fridge and then just put them on as I go. That might be the way to go. It might be pretty cool. Yeah, Trooper beer with all the caps. I don't know why I click things like that. Fuck it if I do. It's like this thing here. For the store mat site. It's like this thing here. Why did I buy this? I mean, it's cool, but I didn't need to buy it, did I? Look, see, I showed you this before. The Trooper glass in there. What did I buy it for? I mean, it's cool. I like it. I haven't used it. I should use it, I guess, for my Trooper beer. Watch me drop it on the concrete. There. And there. So it is cool, but, you know, it's a nice tin across. Yeah, I am a fan of the band, as you know, but anyway, so we're on the right track with the toffee flavour in here. Really, really good. And thanks again, DTS Dave, for that recipe on the old Peculiar. I'm really looking forward to cold crashing that and getting it kegged up, and I'll get back to you and do a bit of a tasting video on that. So cheers, everybody. You take care.